Subatomic life, subatomic life, subatomic.
Now we don't want that to act too much to the limiter, so let's turn the actual gain down.
Subatomic life.
We just want to catch.
Subatomic life, subatomic life.
We just want to catch the peaks that's coming through.
Subatomic life.
You know, that's just basically.
Subatomic life, subatomic life, subatomic life, subatomic life.
Okay, so that's one way of kind of compressing, EQing, and de-essing the vocal through the group, through the vocal group. Now, there's another way of doing this, so I'm going to disable these plugins, and I'll show you another way of working with vocals. And you're actually working with them on per file basis, per track basis, sorry. So what we can do here is actually set up, we'll solo this one here. In fact, no, we'll start with the mid one, because this is our main vocal. So.
Subatomic life, subatomic life.
So again, what we'll do is we'll start with the de-esser, which is in dynamics. There's the de-esser.
Subatomic life, subatomic life, subatomic life, subatomic life, subatomic life, subatomic.
Okay, we'll add the channel EQ next. We'll boost the top end like we did before. Now we've got rid of the sibilant frequencies.
Subatomic life, 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 subatomic life.
Okay, and then the next thing in the chain, rather than using a compressor, we can actually use the Overdrive plugin. Tape was naturally known for adding its own compression if you pushed it hard. And that was the beauty of tape, and that's why people used to love the sound of it. The Overdrive plugin attempts to emulate that, so what we can do here is we can just drive, we don't want to drive it hard at all, and it actually acts as a form of compression as well. And it's not a hard compressor, it's just a nice
subatomic life.
It's a nice fattener and warmer. We can use the drive.
Subatomic life.
And that's going to start distorting it there. You can hear.
Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic.
Let's turn the output down a little bit because we've added extra volume.
Subatomic life. Subatomic life.
Let's make sure it compares to the original.
Subatomic life. Subatomic.
Also with the channel EQ, what we can do is, I'll zoom in here and show you, is actually we can take some of the bottom out, the low frequencies. What happens sometimes when you're recording a vocal is that you can actually pick up low frequencies from a rumble through the floor, through a plosive frequency when you pop in like that. These are low frequencies that you don't need in the vocal. So let's roll off
subatomic life.
Until you can start to hear it working.
Subatomic life. Subatomic life.
It's around about 150, 120.
Subatomic life. Subatomic life.
Maybe 110.
Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life.
And even though you can't actually hear that doing anything, trust me, it's taking away those low sub-frequencies that can sometimes exist in all things. Okay, so we're happy with that, I think.
Subatomic life. Subatomic.
Still a bit S-y.
Subatomic life.
So let's.
Subatomic life. Subatomic.
That's a bit much.
Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life.
Okay, that's a bit better. So we got that. Now, the beautiful thing about Logic is that once you've got the channel strip setting there, what we can do, we can actually copy that channel strip setting, which is Shift Apple C, so we can copy that channel setting and we can apply that same channel setting to the rest of the vocals. There we go, by using that key command there, which is Option Apple V. It's the basic cut and paste thing. So let's go and apply that to all of these. So we've copied the channel setting and we're applying the same channel setting to all of them. Saves, opening up those plugins and get, duplicating the settings. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now.
Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life.
Now you might have to go in and kind of adjust the low cut on some of them, like the lows here, for instance.
Subatomic life. Subatomic life.
You might need to leave a little bit more low in that one because it is a low vocal. So let's not take too much out. We can really cut it around about 80.
Subatomic life. Subatomic.
Excuse this vocal, by the way, it's kind of embarrassing. Let's get that down.
Subatomic life.
Let's leave those low frequencies in the low vocal.
Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life.
Now what I've done is I made the classic mistake of messing up all the panning, so I'm just going to go back in here. Remember what we did that, that was there, that was there, that was at 34, sub low was at 10. Let's do that one. Let's do that one again. Classic mistake of changing the panning on some of them. That was at 34. Let's go there.
Subatomic life. Subatomic life.
And there we go, we've got it back to as we go. Now, so it's still going through this group here, and what we can do finally at the end of this group is apply that little bit of compression. In fact, now we can use a limiter.
Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic.
So you can see there's two different ways of working with a bunch of vocals like this, with a group of vocals. One way is to send it through the group and affect the whole group, you know, compress the whole group, etc. The other way is to work on a per track basis. Personally, I prefer to work on the per track basis because it seems to, you know, and then sort of gel it together a little bit at the end through the group. That works better for me. Yep, that works quite nicely for me. We could even try, let's put some compression on. We'll lower the threshold so we're getting less.
Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life.
Auto gain off. That's what's happening. We had auto gain on, so it was actually increasing the volume for us.
Subatomic life. Subatomic.
You can see there.
Subatomic life.
We've only got like 3 dBs of gain reduction.
Subatomic life.
It's just a very gentle compression. We can actually turn the compressor ratio down, so we're not compressing it that much. We've already done the compression. All we want to do is glue it together a little bit at the end. So
subatomic life. Subatomic life. Subatomic life.
Again, that just fattens the whole thing up and tightens the whole thing together. Nice. I'm pretty happy with that. So what we can now do is actually go and bounce this vocal down, because what I want to do is treat this whole vocal as, you know, just as a sample basically, and actually have it as one track rather than, you know, as we can see here, rather than the 6 tracks running at the same time. I want to treat it like one track of vocal. So we'll come out of that, and what we'll do is we'll actually get a little bit more there.
Subatomic life.
Okay, so we'll now go to the bounce feature. Over here, I'll zoom in on this so you can see. We can press bounce. Let me zoom out. We're going to do it at 24-bit. We don't want any dithering at this point. Well, let me make sure that we're in the right thing. Subatomic life, bouncers, okay. And we'll call this subatomic life vocal bounce. Okay, so we've got it 24-bit. We don't want to normalize it. Let's leave the normalizing off. And we actually want to add it to the audio bin, because if we don't add it to the audio bin, we'll only have to go and manually add it later. This way it does it automatically for us. So let's bounce. You can't hear that because it's an offline thing. So now what we can do is you can actually mute these. We can actually mute and hide them. We'll leave them there just in case we need to go back to them at any point. Let's hide them, mute them, and now what we want is a new audio channel. It's a stereo channel, obviously. Create that. We'll go to the audio bin and we'll drag our vocal from there into the place where we had it before. You can see that that's the vocal. It's a pretty good solid level. We've not clipped it. So let's turn that down.
Subatomic life.
Okay, we can bring our groove in now and sort of mix it in with the groove.
Subatomic life.
So there we go. There we got a sort of a produced kind of vocal.
Subatomic life.
Now that's dry, but if we want to put some effects on here, we can actually, because in a previous episode I showed you how to create a template, we've actually got something set up, which is quite simple. We've got a little triplet delay. We can put that on. Again, on the triplet delay, let's have a look at this bus 3. We can turn some more of the low end out. And that's been previously set up in the template. Now, let's save this as vocal episode 2. There we go. There we go. How to kind of produce your vocals once you've recorded them, how to sort of group a stack of vocals together and create a little file that you can now go and manipulate in the way you want, however you want to do it at a later stage, which I will be showing you in a further episode. Thanks.